coming up. We'll miss Ainslie. She is away with the kids for the weekend. Must be the start of school holidays in Sydney, I imagine. But as she is away, we're going to have Julian come in and do gold. Julian, gold still looks pretty bullish for me. How about you?
Yes, Paul. If we can, if Ash, could you be kind enough to give the screen back, and maybe we could have a quick look at a gold chart here. Hopefully, I can grab the screen. Just
yeah, you should be able to just take it, mate.
I'll see if I can grab the screen. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, let's move a couple of people out the way so I can see the screen as well too. Okay, guys. So right, I'm going to start as I always do with when I've asked to analyze a market. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, what I mean by the beginning is let's look at the monthly chart. Okay, we can all now just bear in mind, right? This is why these things are important. Okay, so we can see a bullish trend unfolding in the gold market. That doesn't take too much of a genius to figure that. Over the course of 2018 through till 2020, pretty much a strong bullish trend. Then we have had some kind of retracement. I think within this you can pick your wave A, wave B, wave C, wave down. So there's your ABC correction. Absolutely classic off a relatively strong third wave here, or messing around for wave 1, wave 2 down here. This is a third wave. And here we are, right. And so what's been happening? Let's drill into the micro on the monthly. Number one, we had a ring low formation in here. What does that mean? That means as soon as we got above that 1745, 1750 level, there was a ring low on the monthly form. Now, what does that do? Well, we know from our ring low analysis, guys, that from an asymmetry point of view, from a trading perspective, this is good news for us, especially when it's been going down for a while in a overall bull trend. This is an opportunity to add to longs or to put new longs on, because in all likelihood, the probability is it's going to go up and we have a predefined risk. As we suspected, right, from that ring low formation coming in, even and with a positive close as well too, the market then rallied and then spent the whole of April going up. Is that April or is that May? That's May going up as well too. So what have we done now? Well, we've seen a bit of a sell-off, right? So the market is let's be let's be friendly about this and say it's consolidating, right? But in terms of the monthly pattern, short of us breaking down here, right, below this level here, or a bit more time unfolding so we have another ringed high formation and putting in a failure, this market is still bullish. What does that mean? It means we're trying to look and continue to look for buying opportunities. Okay, there's the monthly. Now we go look at the weekly pattern. Okay, so as we discussed earlier, for those of you that were hanging around earlier, we saw that gold had a couple of goes down at the 1680 area to 1700, right? It had a one big go down and then it ran the retest, and from that retest point, when it put in a spike bar, an extreme bar, or a hanging man, I think, if you're candlesticks, also it put in a ring low formation, right? The market did very, very well. And on the weekly chart, last week was an outside week, which can be confusing, and especially if it comes at the top of a trading range. So the question is this the top of a trading range? And that may or may well be the case. We don't know yet. We suspect otherwise looking at that monthly chart. So really what we're doing here is we're saying, right, okay, the monthly chart's still bullish. The weekly chart, is this really bearish? Can you find me a ringed high? Can you find me an excess move in here? And the short answer is no, I can't really. Yeah, okay, we've had one down week. You know, come on, let's get a grip here, right? One down week, and that down week was what, 1904 down to 1891. So that's $13 or $14 for a down week. This week, that has just gone past, we've had our second down week. But what do we know about this week? It is an inside week, and therefore do we care about it? Well, we only care about it if you know how to trade inside weeks. But yes, okay, we've given ourselves 2 weeks down. That's interesting. So on the weekly chart, 2 weeks down, given that we've had very few 2 week down opportunities in this entire move, is probably more a interesting place to be thinking about buying than it is to be worrying about, do I have the right short position on? Okay, so this is what you've got to be thinking about here. Outside week followed by an inside week, I would consider to be a consolidatory move. Right, let's drill down one more time, one more go. Okay, now we're looking at dailies. We can all see this consolidation pattern. Well, maybe not totally clearly, but let's make it so we can see it. There was a consolidation pattern in here. I don't know if I can draw boxes on this just yet. My skill set is fairly good, but I'm not sure I can put some boxes in. But let's assume that there is a box around this area here, right? The breakout from that was pretty clear. We came back to almost retest it, but never made it. Another ring low formation, favorite pattern. Okay, and then we went up and away we went, right? And then we came down and then we bounced again on some crazy short-term sell-off. I don't quite know I still can't remember the reason why for that. Let's just go, there was a big seller that day, right? The market then tried to recover, went down again last week on Thursday, bounced back, and then Friday just had a bit of a bad day. Okay, so now what's going to happen this week? Well, if we think back to our weekly charts, still an inside week last week, two things. What we're looking for is extremes. So if we were to open lower, that might be an opportunity for us. If we were to open higher, I would be less inclined to do anything. If we opened in the middle of the range, well, then we need to look for opportunities. And where would our risk be? Well, we know that our risk is about 1801-ish, 1802 area, which is that major support. We shouldn't really trade through there, but that means that we're looking at a $76 stop, which is quite aggressive, right? So we need to try and maybe give this a couple more days to give us a better opportunity to try and get into this market from a trade basis. But right now, guys, overall, the trend still remains relatively positive despite Friday's sell-off. So think about this as a great opportunity for us to look for another opportunity to buy the market rather than necessarily get out of our longs or thinking about shorts. There is no reason right now for this market to be thinking about selling. So what key event we've got coming up this week? Well, we have the Fed coming up this week. What are they going to do? Well, they might start possibly thinking about at some point in time, maybe thinking about changing rates. Okay, and tapering the bond market. I do admit that if they did start to think about any of those thinkings, then that will probably have a quite interesting impact on a lot of financial markets. So they will be very careful about doing that, and they'll be pretty damn sure that when they do it, they're on the right side of it. So they'll no doubt be late to the party. Okay, so the economics will have supported it for a number of months, and the market will have anticipated it. So none of that's happening so far. So therefore, while yields continue to remain reasonably stable or lower, the gold market continues, in my mind, to represent good value. Where that would go wrong, where are our risks? Well, technically, we know where the risks are. We break this low here and we break this low here. We've got a bit of a problem. If we close below it, then I think we may start to reassess on the dailies. But does that mean we reassess on the weeklies? Well, the answer to that would be maybe, but really we need to see a close below this area here. But on the monthly, well, guys, unless we're below 1800 when all bets are off, quite frankly, this is still a bull market. We trade it as such, right? And I view a down month as an opportunity to get involved in the market rather than necessarily an opportunity to think about reversing positions. Similarly with the week, we've had two down closes. Think about that. Go back and look at the previous chart. When you've had two down closes in the bull market, what happens, right? This is where we do some of the analog work. This is what being a trader is all about. You go back and look at maybe this bull market and try and find two down closes. What happened? Okay, here I can see one here, one down close, two down close. That was the best buying opportunity we had, and look what happened next. Can we see another two down closes? Well, there's one. No, that didn't qualify. And then I'm struggling to find myself two down closes. Here we go. There's one and there's two, and look what happened next. So in the world of down closes on the weekly chart, this may well be seen as being a buying opportunity if we continue to trade that way. That's my view on gold, Paul. I hope that helps everybody. I think I'm a very poor substitute for Ainslie. She does this way better than I do.
I thought it was brilliant, mate. Thank you very much for that. We will watch it unfold this week and see if it gives us the opportunities that we're looking for to actually get into the